Good evening, it's Kuro. Got a tier 10 gearing game, going over the matchmaking, looking at threats to the ship being the Wooster, any of the Venenzias, the Zao, if they get a shot at me. Gearing Z52 and Holland round out the destroyer threats. The map is Trap, and we're going to kick this one off. I spawn in the north. I am basically our southernmost DD in the on the team, and because of that, I'm basically just going to push down here to ACAP and see what's going on. I'm cognizant that I only have 3 ships with me, and if the enemy team, their central force pushes over towards ACAP, we could get outnumbered pretty easily. So I'm gonna try to keep that in mind. And what I've decided to kind of open the game up with is if I'm still located when I get down here to ACAP, I'm gonna go on ahead and just initially pull a smoke screen here for my team, circle around the ACAP, and try to spot what's coming, up here, and if anything is pushing, this middle channel, just to one, keep my team safe so they don't get rushed through this channel, and two, uh, let anything that's smoked up just farm anything down in here that I spot. And again, this doesn't really require much in the way of teamwork. I just typed in chat, told them what was going on, and just gonna roll with it.
Engine boost activated.
So gonna start laying the smoke here. Want to start it from a safe position to let these guys, creep out here if they want. The Wooster does have hydro, so he should be in pretty good shape if there's torps or anything like that. And we're starting to get some spots in here.
Smoke screen set.
So notice I'm taking a pretty aggressive approach through the cap, and that's because the cap is still ticking. Nothing has actually broken this line here, so I can take this aggressive angle through the cap. Now, you notice something's in the cap, you're going to see me start to back off a little bit. I was kind of hoping my Wooster would be able to pick up anything that was being, that would step into the cap, but no joy there. We've got a Holland that pops up. I'm not going to shoot here. I'm right on the edge of my concealment. It's going to take all of these guys, time to shift their guns over to me. And, my Wooster gets a couple shots off there at the Holland. And that pushes the Holland off the cap. I do get torps in on this Holland. Or, that's a big Holland. The Kremlin. And take a look at my positioning. We're outnumbered here. I'm just getting in a position. I'm getting ready to fight. Now, I am opening up here just because I've got the cap, and everybody down here is all focused on my teammates. I'm basically trying to interrupt these guys. Now this build, I am running Demolition Expert on the Captain. Kind of wanted to see, how far I could push, the fire chance with, more of a gun-focused build. I am running basic firing training and a lot of 3-point skills. I'll link the build in the description below. Just trying to lead that one Kremlin, and then I want to keep putting pressure on this one Kremlin back here. And I think that might have been a mistake. I think that I should have launched both torpedoes at this target. Somehow my Wooster died. My Zal's kiting back, and again, this is, you know, me just, you know, trying to, number one, contest a cap, but I'm also approaching here, and I'm getting ready to push back in and, you know, start shooting if I need to. There's the Venezia. He's still pretty far away from me, so just taking a look right now, seeing what's going on with the torps. Doesn't look like I'm gonna hit.
Torpedoes to port.
Yep. And that's where, unfortunately, now Holland shot. I've got smoke. I'm just gonna go on ahead and smoke instantly up. Gonna let my Kremlin spot, and I'm just gonna punish this Holland for, you know, trying to push me like that. Now, if you notice, I'm still moving forward in smoke. I'm still pulling this smoke further and further up. I want to make this a bigger smoke. Now that the Holland's down, I'm just gonna switch back on this Kremlin. I am keeping in my timer in my head, expecting torpedoes from the Holland. I hate special captains. They're so unbalanced for the game. Okay, I'm gonna need to get out of this smoke here shortly. And just not getting any fire chance. Even with Demolition Expert, both flags, very frustrating. But I am looking at this Kremlin and this Venezia pushing up, so I am sending both sets of torps narrow on these guys. Now these torpedoes, you know, this Holland's been playing in this area, so if the Holland's there, they may catch him, they might catch the Venezia, they might catch the Kremlin. Again, there's a lot of stuff going on with these long-range torpedoes that you can do, where you can try to line things up where multiple ships have to pass through your torps. And I mean, just like that, I picked up the kill on the Holland. Now Z-52 popped up on the mini-map, and you know, his hydro ran out right there. That's a good thing, because that Venezia was close enough. That could have been very punishing for me. Well, I'm looking right now because I'm making the decision to shoot up this Z-52 if I get a chance. Now, I do make a timing error up here. Venezia saw him looking at another target. Again, just driving erratically right now. I actually start pressing my smoke, I think, just a second early, and this smoke doesn't actually deploy. Venezia just shot, and I was anticipating my smoke already being up. Not the best dodging attempt by myself anyway with the Venezia, so I take a pretty significant hit there. But I go on ahead, pop my smoke, and just gonna keep working on this Venezia. My Kremlin and Zau are doing a really good job still holding on, but I don't think it's gonna be for long. The Venezia's made the mistake of smoking up when I'm inside his smoke firing distance. That's why he's not dropping off. There's his 20 seconds off the cooldown. Now I'm getting rushed here, so I'm gonna go ahead and start dropping torpedoes. Again, I haven't really had the best torpedo angles this game, but kind of is what it is kind of situation. I know that this Kremlin's got an angle to my Kremlin, and that might give me just enough to get some torps in on him. And I do pick up 2 torpedo hits with a flood. I got fires burning on him, and just doing what I can to work this guy over. We need to get him down as quickly as possible. Of course, he's healing, and I mean, Kremlin is just a ship that it is very hard to kill. At this point, I got to start moving. I do pick up an extra torpedo hit on the, I think it was a Kremlin in the background. Popping my engine boost. I know that this Kremlin's going to be really close. I'm trying to keep my smoke screen in between me and him. And I'm right on the edge. I'm not going to shoot. I think I can disengage. I should have waited just a couple seconds longer here with that fire until I was 6 kilometers away.
Main turret critically damaged.
So at this point, I'm the only thing left on this team, or on this flank, and my job is basically just to kite away, survive, and just keep spotting for my team as they move through. My team's been pushing in from C cap into B cap, and I'm just looking to try to make their life miserable. I do think that I should have held on to these torpedoes until this Kremlin gave up trying to hunt for me, because eventually he's gonna have to turn in, and these torpedoes would have been really nice to have when he completes that turn in. There's the turn in that I was talking about. Unfortunately, not gonna have torpedoes in time for it. But 956 points left in the game. Want to try to get every last bit of damage I can out of it, and just gonna keep shooting. I do switch to AP here. Kind of wanted to see what I could do with AP with gearing against a Kremlin. Not really that good. I think I need to be a little bit closer. I do get a fire on the Kremlin, and that's gonna tick for a bit. And looks like he's repaired that, and this game's gonna end on points. So just another pretty solid gearing game. 142,000 damage, 82,000 spotting. Really kind of shows, you know, the team play aspect of this ship, as well as, you know, your ability to deal damage. And I mean, the real casualty this game for me that I was rather annoyed with was my horrible fire chance. With, you know, 3 points, you know, assigned into Yeah, only 4 fires, 292 HE hits, and a lot of it was on ships that weren't on fire. I think I only got 1 fire on the Venezia. Uh, just terrible fire chance. This game really could have been a lot better if I would have got some fires out of the few times that I really started focusing targets down with my HE. And it might have even turned the tide because if that low HP Kremlin early on had died, he wouldn't have been able to heal up. Um, and that would have been one less battleship shooting at my ships. Um, you know, I think that an argument could have been made that it would have been a lot closer on my flank than it otherwise was. But anyway, just want to wrap this one up. Gearing is a ship that, I mean, I've played it a lot. I don't think I've done a video on it relatively recently, and wanted to do a video with more of a selfish build where I am focusing on, my personal damage output and mixing that sort of build into, the typical U.S. Um, um, U.S. destroyer play style where you are a force multiplier for your team with your best in class smoke, all of that kind of stuff, and see where that leaves me. So anyway, hope you guys like this game. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Hope you're having a good night, and I will talk to you later.